Hello, so in today's video I thought we would work our way through an exam question that's around genetic crosses. These can sometimes be daunting, but if you go step by step, hopefully you'll be able to see how you can approach these and not be daunted next time you see one. So in these questions, it's really important to read the questions carefully and all the information given. So we're told guinea pigs have either long hair or short hair, and the hair length is controlled by one gene with two alleles. So we're then shown a picture of the guinea pigs, and the first question is state what is meant by the term allele. Now we should know that an allele is a version of a gene. So that's just some factual recall to start us off. So the next part to the question, we're given quite a bit more information, and this is where people can get daunted. But read through carefully, break it down, underline key points and annotate it, and you'll find it easier. So if we look at this, we've got three crosses, and pardon the pun, but the short and the long of it is that the first two are a long-haired crossed with a short-haired, all producing short-haired offspring. That tells us one thing. That tells us that short hair is dominant, and that's a key piece of information that we're given. The final cross is crossing two short hairs, and we get offspring with both short and long hair. So they're likely to be heterozygous. And the question then asks us to draw a genetic diagram to show the parents, gametes, and all the possible genotypes and phenotypes of the offspring. So it's 4 marks. We need to work through this carefully. Now, we've already worked out that short is the dominant allele. So we're going to give a capital S as the letter we're using. It's really important, therefore, when we want to use the recessive allele, that we use a lowercase s and make it very different in size. So here I've drawn out the Punnett square because we can assume both parents are heterozygous. So they have one allele for short hair, one allele for the recessive long hair. The question asks us some specific things. So we're asked to show the parents and gametes, genotypes and phenotypes of the offspring. So the parent genotypes we know is heterozygous, and I'm going to make that clear by writing it down the side here for my Punnett square. I clearly write that the two potential gametes is the dominant or the recessive allele. And then I've written down the genotypes of the offspring from the Punnett square. With the phenotypes, it's always important to link them to the genotypes. So if there's a capital S there, we know they're going to have short hair. But if they are homozygous recessive, they'll have the long hair. Working through slowly and methodically is the key to these questions. The next part of this follows on nicely, and we're asked to calculate the probability that the first offspring born from cross B is a male with short hair. So if we refer back to what we just calculated, we can see the chance of having short hair is 3 out of 4, or 0.75. We know that the probability of being a male is 0.5, and if you don't know that, here's just the Punnett square explaining how that happens. So you cross a male with a female to end up with 2 offspring, XX, 2XY, 50% chance of being male. So if we want a short-haired male, we need to take that 0.75 and multiply it with the 0.5 of being male. And that's going to give us the answer 0.375, or if you want to represent it as a percentage, it's 37.5. So following on from that, the next question, we're told some information, which actually we've already worked out, but we are told that some short-haired guinea pigs are homozygous and some are heterozygous, i.e. short hair is dominant. Explain how a breeder could use a cross to determine the genotype of a short-haired guinea pig. So the key here is you need to cross them with a homozygous recessive individual. So that's a long-haired guinea pig. We know short hair is dominant, so if they are homozygous for this, then all the offspring will have short hair because there will be a short hair allele in every single one of those offspring. If the short-haired individual is heterozygous, then we're going to end up with some offspring having long fur and some having short. That's how you determine the genotype of that short-haired individual. So the final part of this question states that guinea pigs stay completely still and don't move when they sense danger. Describe how this behaviour has evolved by natural selection. So whenever you see a question about natural selection, I want you to think VASRA, because this will help you remember the key words you need to include. So the V stands for variation. So there's variation in population due to mutations, random mutations that result in different alleles. Now, those that have alleles that mean they are staying still, they are better adapted for survival as they're not going to be eaten by predators. So adapted is at A of VASRA and S is survival. Those that survive are therefore more likely to reproduce. That's the R of our VASRA. And finally, those that reproduce are going to pass on the advantageous alleles. That's our final A to the offspring. So whenever you see a natural selection question, think VASRA, but make sure you make it specific to that question. So if we compare our answer to the mark scheme, we can see that an exam answer using VASRA has picked us up all 4 marks. So I hope you found this GCSE genetic exam question walkthrough helpful. If you did and you don't want to miss out on more GCSE and A-level biology tips and revision videos, make sure you hit subscribe.